All right. It's just past 7 today. We're looking at a pretty decent day.
Audacious Thursday.
Better than tomorrow, but today's going to be cloudy and 53, cloudy tonight, and going down to 38. A lot of rain happening tomorrow, they say. Not sure when, but they say an 80% chance for some rain with a high of 54.
Oh.
So
good temperature.
Yeah.
Still a good
bad.
temperature.
Nice fall-like temperature, but not really the March temperature we were looking for. But hey, we're okay with it. Let's get to what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg, and happy Thursday. In our local news today, a marijuana dispensary in Buchanan has decided to unionize. The United Food and Commercial Workers Local 951 has announced it is now representing 17 employees at Zenleaf on East Front Street in Buchanan. Union Legislative Affairs Director Todd Regis tells us that the UFCW represents more than 10,000 cannabis workers around the country, making it the largest union for those group of workers. What could this move mean for the workers at Zenleaf? That's what we asked.
I think this is going to be job protection. It's going to allow them the ability to make sure that they have some sort of wage protection. It's going to allow them to know what their hours and schedules are. It's going to allow them some dignity at work.
Regis says as more states legalize marijuana and as the industry grows, there will be more of a need for its workers to have representation. Justin McMeans is a cannabis advisor at Zenleaf. He tells us the staff decided to reach out to the union after feeling they weren't getting the right treatment. He says he's hopeful this will mean improvements for the industry as a whole.
I think overall we're very ecstatic. I think it's just the beginning. We're all looking for a better future for ourselves. And hopefully when other cannabis stores see how easy this was for us, the other cannabis stores in the region will start doing the same and bargain for themselves as well.
The Zenleaf employees held their election on Friday. The vote to unionize was 13-2. Regis tells us one major issue the union wants to address is safety in dispensaries, as there's a lot of cash on the properties due to the credit cards not being usable in pot shops. McMeans says bargaining with the ownership is now going to get underway. Set for March 23rd is a parenting conference led by Barry and Risa. Risa Early Education Director Corenda Appleby tells us parenting matters in Berrien County. Navigating your parent journey will feature workshops and presentations on a variety of topics that could be helpful to parents. Risa started holding these conferences prior to COVID, and they say they got a strong response. The goal is to improve the educational performance of children in the county.
If you want kids to do well in school, then you have to make sure their parents have all the tools that they need, because parents are their children's first and most influential teachers.
Appleby says when the conference was brought back last year after the COVID break, it attracted renewed interest. Already this year, more parents have registered than in 2023. What are some of the topics that will be covered?
We have a couple of workshops on father's role in parenting. We have a workshop called Seashells, Pizzas, and Acorn Soup, which is about how to support preschool kids' learning. And, of course, we have stuff on language and literacy skills.
Other presentations will be on emotional development, potty training, and the value of playtime.
All right.
Yeah, value of playtime. I like that. Appleby says after last year's conference, parents right away started asking for another conference. The event will be held Saturday, March 23rd at the Barry and Risa Administrative Conference Center in Berrien Springs. It'll happen from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're offering free childcare for the day, and attendance to the event is free. We have a way to register at our website, WSJM.com.
They're making it convenient. I like that.
Aren't they making it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And finally, the Benton Township Fire Department is receiving more than $200,000 in new equipment for just a fraction of the cost, thanks to a federal grant. Chief Rob Harper tells us that Sodus Township, St. Joseph Township, and Benton Township have all teamed up to seek an Assistance to Firefighters grant of $889,000 across the three. Benton Township's share of that is $261,000.
This grant was to replace our air packs, which is called SCBA, our fill stations, and any other associated equipment that goes with those two items. So our department received 22 air packs and 44 bottles, 22 masks, and 22 bags to put the mask in, an air compressor fill station, and it looks like we'll be getting a bottle storage cart.
Harper says the grant only requires a 10% match, so $26,000 gets you $260,000 worth of equipment.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. He told the Benton Township Board of Trustees that that's a heck of a deal. And Harper says FEMA looks at the overall number of people who will be served when considering the grant application. So the three townships teaming up really made their grant proposal very compelling.
Awesome.
Yeah. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
We'll catch up with sports here in just a moment. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Biden prepping for his third State of the Union address.
Good morning, everybody.
I'm updating my iOS.
Ooh.
Yeah.
To iOS update.
17.4.
17.4.
Is yours ready for an update?
I'm sure it is. Did I do that yet?
I don't know. I got my beta one updated over the weekend, and apparently it works. So.
Oh yeah, just to let me know, hey, it's available. I'll do that later.
Yeah. The updates used to take a lot longer. Now I feel like they're a little bit more convenient.
They are. Yeah. Because the ones before, it'd be like, you're going to need like an hour.
Plug your phone in. You're going to need an hour.
Yeah, all those requirements, too, because of the battery. It bogs down your battery so much that it's like, you're going to need some time here.
Although I don't know that they've totally fixed the heat issue yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Because I after a couple of updates ago, when I was charging it, or I don't know what was happening, but it got hot again. And I picked up my phone and said, oh yeah, you can resume using your phone when the temperature cools down. It gives me that little message.
Wow.
Yeah.
That usually happens if you like leave it out in the sun too long.
Wasn't out in the sun. It was in my house.
So this update says new emojis, woohoo, transcripts in Apple Podcasts, and includes other features, bug fixes, and security updates for your iPhone.
I wish they were more explicit about the security updates and the bug fixes.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Like what was there a bug before?
Right. What'd you get wrong?
I have and I think it's they talked. I think they introduced it in one of the last updates.
Right.
That I don't know if you deal with this at all, but every once in a while you'll open something and the texts will be overlapped. Like I'll open like a email, like an attachment, or I'll go to Facebook or something like that, and things will be stacked on top of each other.
Oh,
like
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, it's happened every once in a while, and they had said there was an update to fix that, but I still have it every once in a while.
Maybe it's the virtual way of people interrupting each other.
Yeah, maybe. Hang on, I got one more thing. Yeah.
Saying good morning to our live stream viewers. You're getting exclusive content here on the WSJM morning show live stream.
Diane says she's had that too, where the overlap stuff.
Very nice. Hi, Diane. Good to see you.
Good morning, Bill.
Bill.
Good morning, Jeff.
Jeff in there?
Yeah.
Where's Jeff?
Jeff's right there.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Jeff.
Jeff lives in St. Louis region?
St. Louis, Missouri. He used to live here.
Okay.
And in fact, we tried to get together for coffee this last weekend.
Oh.
But I was busy cleaning out that house.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't make time for Jeff?
I tried.
Jeff makes time for us.
I know.
Well, next time, Jeff, you're in the area, we'll
come on by the studio.
We'll hang out.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up. I'm glad Jeff is here because I saw this story. This is happening in St. Louis, and my question is, will Jeff be participating?
Oh, what is it?
So the City Museum in St. Louis already has a bunch of Guinness World Records, but they want one more, and they're willing to look dumb to get to this. So March 14th, so next week.
Okay.
They are going to recruit as many people as possible to wear their underwear.
Oh no.
On their heads.
Oh, come on. Why?
So why not? They want to break records. these are those obtainable Guinness World Records. So what they have to do is they have to beat 270 sets, 270 people with underwear on their heads. This was set in Naperville, Illinois, during of course, perfect for a library, Captain Underpants.
Oh,
he wears his underpants.
That's right.
Regularly, though.
Yeah.
But they had a Captain Underpants book party in Illinois, and the ones in St. Louis said, "Hey, we can do better." So since March 14th is a special day, it's Pi Day. In the 314 area code, they're hoping to get at least 314 people to do that. So
they're
Jeff,
mixing too much stuff there.
You in? You in or you out?
What's he say?
He said, "I'm not down with this." Dumb record.
Agreed.
I'll have to look and see what the St. Louis Library, what other records, because they said they have multiple Guinness World Records.
Did you ever own a copy of the Guinness Book of World Records?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
I used to buy it at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah. That was the one I got from Scholastic.
Yeah, it was big, thick,
with all kinds of silly records in it.
Yeah, like and it wasn't color or anything. Nope. It was just like the newsprint, black and white. I still remember the fat twins on the motorcycles.
Oh yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
Then you've got the long fingernails, the super long fingernails, long hair, tallest man, shortest man. Yeah. Same with the women.
And now they've improved, and they're doing underwear on the head.
Underwear on the head.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with, like, I don't know if you've ever tried to get a Guinness World Record.
I have not.
But you've got to go through a bunch of hoops. Like you have to, if you get one of their officials to come and watch you do whatever you're doing, whether it's like, well, I can fit this many things in my mouth, or I can jump this high, or run this fast. Usually it's a lot easier for them to declare you as a Guinness World Record holder. But if, say, you do something like friends of mine, when back in college, they were doing some stuff in the college, and they ended up making the largest blanket fort. Like inside the gymnasium, they made the largest blanket fort. And so they had to take a bunch of pictures. They had to do a bunch of video. They had to do a whole bunch of stuff to get this world record. And then I think even still, they were like, yeah, you forgot to do this one thing in order to get it, or it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So
no,
there's a lot of hoops.
They're very strict on what they will accept as a world record and what they won't. And this story came across earlier. And I don't think we actually got to it. It was during one of the shows where someone was trying to build the Eiffel Tower from matchsticks. Remember that?
Ooh.
And Richard Plaw, a Frenchman who had dreamed of building the world's tallest matchstick sculpture, made headlines when the Guinness World Records rejected his huge model of the Eiffel Tower. It took him, I don't know, countless hours. Probably years to build this thing. It's got 700,000 matchsticks. It's 23 feet tall, and it's the Eiffel Tower.
Wow!
And he built it with the hope of getting the record. So he knew all the guidelines and what he'd have to do. And they rejected him after he built this whole thing.
Did he set it on fire then?
I would have.
Matchsticks. Wow.
I would have, but they rejected it because they said the matchsticks were the wrong kind. They came back and reviewed it and reversed their decision.
Oh, so he did get it.
He did get it. They said, after an official review, it seems we've been heavy-handed in application of our rules in this case. And they announced the reversal. So 700,000 matchsticks, Eiffel Tower.
Wow.
There you go.
Some of the other records that this museum holds.
Yeah.
World's largest pencil, the world's longest seesaw, and they also have the record for the world's largest tennis racket. So,
world's largest pencil.
If you want to participate in the,
do you have to use the world's largest pencil to keep score in the world's largest tennis racket?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff says he's out. He says, other fun facts about St. Louis, the World's Fair that happened in 1903. St. Louis, where they had cotton candy, where they invented cotton candy.
Oh, I guess someone did have to invent that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Isn't there a movie, World's Fair or something like that? State Fair?
There's a musical, State Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, when did they build the Gateway Arch?
St. Louis?
Yeah, when did they build that? The Gateway to the West, or whatever they call it?
Let's see. 1963 is when they started construction, and it opened in 1965.
I have never been in the arch.
I've seen it from
I've
afar.
driven by and seen it. There's an elevator in there, like that'll take you to the tippy top. Yeah,
the tippy.
Which is
top.
weird because you think about it, like, how is an elevator? It's there's curves in there.
It's an arch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you move the elevator? Could you imagine going through stairs, like just a spiral staircase that takes you all the way up and then starts to lean? Just walking that way. That would be fun.
The tippy top is a kind of top that when spun will spontaneously invert itself to spin on its narrow stem. And it was invented by a German nurse.
Why? Why was a German nurse saying, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I got some free time.
The tippy top. Maybe she was doing it to entertain the patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw this one too. By the way, you're getting exclusive content here on the show. So this is stuff that we may or may not get to on the regular show, but Always Learning with our friends from Barry and Risa is happening right now on the radio. Talking with, I believe that's the conversation with our friends at Waterville Public Schools, the superintendent over there.
Can we call it the terrestrial instead of the radio? On the terrestrial.
On the main, we'll call it the main channel.
On the walkie.
The main channel. We'll have it over there. But this is a bird related thing. You've been to Vegas, right?
Yes.
I've never been.
Okay.
But they have the Bellagio fountain.
It's glitzy.
Yeah. The Bellagio fountain. That's the big one.
Yep.
Apparently it got turned off recently due to a rare bird landing.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So they had to pause the Vegas Strip, that destination, because an unusual bird had landed in the water. It's called a yellow-billed loon.
Oh.
And it's one of the 10 rarest birds in the country. And the hotel and wildlife officials are working together to rescue it. So the yellow-billed loon
has stopped a Vegas show. That's so cool. Yeah, the fountain at the Bellagio, famous for the different lights, the different fountains, the water spurting all over the place. It's fun to watch.
Sure.
Because it's just a different kind of art. That's interesting. I'm glad somebody, I wonder if a tourist saw it and said, that's a yellow-billed loon.
No way.
Stop the fountains.
My guess is that is because I doubt that anybody just casually walking by or working maintenance or anything like that would say, well, if I'm not mistaken, that there is a yellow-billed loon.
Lake Bellagio. That's fun. That's a pretty bird.
Jeff says he's been in the arch 2 times. And he's not like the pods. They are small.
Are those the elevator pods?
I think, yeah.
The little
they take you that
transports.
way. Because it's not quite an elevator shaft. There's like you're just on this little pod and you're crawling up the thing. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
It's one of those I think I would just want to see from the outside. I mean, maybe see what the view is from the top.
No, go to the top. Go to the top and then jump up, not down, but just jump up and down in the top floor to see if you can like crack the arch.
Bend the arch.
Yeah.
I think I would probably not do that.
I'm feeling nauseous just thinking about it.
I got queasy. My legs started to turn into jello. All right. Oh, Bill, who's loves racing,
Yes,
says
he
go
does.
to the I-55 Speedway down to St. Louis. I don't know if that means the actual I-55 and you just drive really fast. I will say that I hate highways that I don't get to drive fast, like US 31 when you're going through Indiana.
Yeah.
It'll be like 60 miles an hour. It's like, why does it need to be 60 miles an hour? It could easily be 65 or 70 easily.
Yeah. Especially after you've been going 70
right
legally.
Yeah.
And then to have to slow down into those zones, it feels like you're going backwards almost.
Right. It's like, why? But why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think because there's some turnoffs and some things like that. Just want to be safe.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So let's see. Online scams are out of control. Oh, the president hasn't decided whether or not he's going to debate Donald Trump.
Oh.
Yeah, Donald Trump, after Nikki Haley got out this week, as we expected, she announced early yesterday that she would be announcing that she's getting out. I watched her speech, by the way, Nikki Haley, at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. And very small group of people in her little headquarters room that they had. And she basically went out on the stage, read her statement, didn't endorse anybody, but didn't trash anybody, and walked away.
All right.
And that was it. Donald Trump afterwards challenged Joe Biden to TV debates. You will recall that Donald Trump did not attend one single debate with his Republican counterparts.
Right.
But now he wants to debate Joe Biden. TV debates. He said he'd take part in a TV forum with the Democrat president anytime, anywhere, any place, posting online in capital letters, come on, let's debate. Mr. Biden's campaign said Mr. Trump was thirsty for attention and struggling to expand his appeal. No debates have so far been agreed to.
Wow.
This year.
All right.
Yeah, between the two.
Such an interesting political campaign moment, whatever you want to call it, election year with these people. These guys, man. I think they just I think they duke it out.
Oh dear.
They just go to the like cage match, steel cage match. You get a ladder, you get a chair, maybe a table. And that's how you do it. WrestleMania. Or I think UFC 300 is coming up. They're getting ready for the 300th UFC competition. So I would say maybe the Octagon.
Maybe something not so violent. Maybe we could do like a board game like Monopoly.
Chess?
No.
Chess would be boring.
Yeah. But Monopoly.
Yeah, but everybody gets mad at Monopoly. And it takes forever. No, I would
Are you saying you get mad during Monopoly?
Everybody does.
Okay.
Everybody gets, it's not really mad. It's just frustrated that the game takes forever. I think as it progresses, you're just like, oh, no, not good. Ooh. Dwayne has a good one. Presidential slap fight. That would be good.
Good morning, Dwayne.
I would watch that.
Good
presidential
Which
slap
kind
fight.
of slap fight? Is
Where,
that where they just smack each
that
other
is
like
where
that?
you get to you get to wind up and the other person just stays there and takes it.
Those are
and
funny.
then you just go back and forth with the slapping.
Oh, I like the shotgun slap game better. You ever play that?
No.
That's where you put one person puts their hands out like this.
Yeah.
And then the other person has their hands at their side.
Okay.
And my job is to slap your hands before you pull them away.
Oh.
And you just go back and forth doing that.
It's
a lot of fun.
I think the slapping in the face would be a lot more fun.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Donald Trump and Joe
Oh,
Biden
no.
slapping
You ever
each other.
watched a
And
slap?
what if there's a third candidate? What do you do then?
You just trade. Yeah. You rotate. Have you ever watched a slap competition?
Oh. Yeah, they're brutal.
They're awesome. I think I saw one.
The internet is a horrible thing.
And just from a slap, I think there was a guy that ended up having like a big old black eye and big old welt from the
Ouch.
Woof. Woof.
Ouch.
I like watching arm wrestling too. That's always fun to watch.
I haven't watched that.
It was they made a movie Over the Top, I believe, is the movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he does arm wrestling.
They should have done thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling.
A movie of thumb wrestling.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
1,
would
2,
watch
3,
that.
go.
We're in the middle of watching the Back to the Future movies because they're so I don't know. Somebody did a deal. Must have been Universal finally released some of their classic movies because tons of new movies on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
And Back to the Future, that series was one of them. And I thought, I'll watch Back to the Future. I've watched it a million times.
Okay.
Jocelyn had not watched all of them all the way through.
I haven't either.
Really?
I've seen the first one. I don't know. I couldn't commit that I've seen the second or third.
Oh.
Is there a fourth one?
There's no. There's only three.
Okay.
There's only three. Yeah, I've watched 1, 2, and 3 at least a dozen times each. Yes. My opinion, I like the third one the most because they go back to 1885. So it's the Old West.
With the train, is there a train?
Yeah,
involved?
there's a train,
Okay.
and they need the train to get up to 88 miles per hour.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
The second one, they go to the future to 2015, where the Cubs win the World Series, which was really close. Cubs won in 2016, so it wasn't too far off.
That's crazy.
But yeah, they beat Miami. No, the second one's pretty good. The first one, yeah, I like the first one too, where they go back to 1955. But
I'm curious how this no labels convention is going to go because it's going to be Zoom.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be somewhere, Zoom, but they've got like 800 delegates, including our own Fred Upton.
Yeah.
And so the regional delegates are Zooming today, and then the national delegates will Zoom tomorrow.
Okay.
And they'll talk about whether or not they're going to move forward with a candidate. And then usually at a convention, they pick a candidate. So maybe we'll get a candidate tomorrow. Maybe it'll be next week.
All right. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, do we have to go back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold that thought.
Hold this exclusive thought. We'll be back.
It's the morning show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. It's 7:30.
I just want to keep talking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. I know. No, you had it. Let's hold that thought for a while.
Okay.
And we'll get to that. I think we'll get to that in just a little while.
Okay.
Because it's an interesting thing that's developing. People that are listening on the main channel, as I'm calling it now. The main channel, is that okay? Do we want to call it the radio?
Terrestrial. The radio. We can use
radio.
We can use them interchangeably.
Let's call it.
We can call it Avril Lavigne's
Channel 1
place.
Channel 1. Do you remember that? Did you have you had Channel 1 in school, right?
So that was the CNN thing.
It was the Channel 1 was where like high school or young people were doing the news in your school.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had that in school?
I remember something about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We may not have had TV.
I was going to say it was the print version.
I think it was CNN though.
Of Channel 1. It's Channel 1 is now a part of. There's like they're reviving Channel 1, and I believe it's a part of CNN. We'll look to that. We'll look into that later. Okay. Today's going to be mostly cloudy, high 53. Later tonight, we're looking at clouds and a low down to 38. Friday, we got a chance for some rain with a high of 54. Let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Good morning. The Bobo Brazil Center in Benton Harbor is getting $1 million. A state grant of $1 million has been awarded to the city of Benton Harbor to restore and reopen the Bobo Brazil Community Center, also known as the Armory. State Representative Joey Andrews tells us the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity has announced the recipients of the competitive grants focused on community centers, with Benton Harbor on the list. Benton Harbor City Commissioners have talked for years about fixing up the center, which has been closed since 2009. Benton Harbor City Commission in August voted to apply for $2.5 million from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to fix up the center and offer senior programs and basketball for young people. Joey Andrews, the state representative, says he looks forward to seeing what this $1 million state grant can do to accomplish part of that goal. U.S. Attorney's Office has charged a man with stealing $700,000 in cash from Four Winds Casino in Hartford. U.S. Attorney Mark Totten said the casino got a phone call back in July of last year claiming someone was the tribal chair of the Pokagon Band of Potawatomi and they needed cash. The caller told a casino employee that he needed the funds to make an urgent payment. He apparently gathered up $700,000 in cash, walked out of the casino, and took it over to a gas station in Gary, Indiana, gave the money to two suspects who remained unidentified until recently. After months of investigating, the FBI and the Pokagon Tribal Police were able to identify Jesus Gaetan Garcia of Chicago as one of the suspects. He's been indicted and could serve up to 5 years in prison. And now that it appears the nominees from the two major parties are set for the presidential election, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, a third party, No Labels, is preparing to field its candidate. We'll have a conversation with former Congressman Fred Upton, who is a member of No Labels, at 8 o'clock.
All right.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
We'll catch you up with sports in just a moment. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the state.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm back.
Channel 1 News, founded in 1989 or launched by Whittle Communications.
Okay.
For Whittle people.
Oh, for the Whittle ones.
Whittle Communications. 1989 to 1994. And then they were revived, or they were taken over by Prime Media.
Okay.
And then Zelnick Media took them over. And then Houghton Mifflin Harcourt.
Wow. Okay.
Took them over. And that lasted till 2018. And what it says here is closed in 2018, but I thought CNN was doing something with them.
I knew, I read something because I had a conversation with somebody about Channel 1 a while back and how I thought it was such a great idea.
Except for the commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved the idea of, that's how, they would say, all right, guys, last hour of the class, we're going to watch Channel 1 for 10 minutes or however long it was. Yeah. And that was a great way to get informed about what's happening around the world and around the nation, because it was teenagers telling you about what's going on in the news. They made the news fun.
They certainly, you can more easily relate to someone who either looks like you or talks like you, and same age and such. The controversy came in when they were doing commercials, forcing the kids to watch commercials as part of their school day. Probably not a.
Was it like a public service announcement?
No, they were commercials.
Oh, they were commercials.
Yeah.
So, hey kids, buy Crest.
Nike. No, I don't know. I don't know who the advertisers were. We could do research, but we can also just talk about it later.
Jeff says the third Back to the Future is the worst. You watch your mouth, Jeff. To each his own. If you like futuristic stuff, you're gonna like number 2. If you like the 50s, you're gonna like the first one, and if you like the Old West, you'll like the third one. I will say the acting and everything. It was definitely, you could tell it was the third movie. They were, I think, started to get tired of it, and I think there was a little bit overacting from Christopher Lloyd. I think he was going a little bit too much with his acting as Doc Brown. A little too over the top, because it was. That franchise was like first one was 1985, and then I think I just saw it when we were watching the second one last night. It said coming summer 1990.
Oh wow,
will be Back to the Future 3.
Oh geez,
yeah. We always had them on VHS in my house. My mom, it's one of my mom's favorite franchises, and we one time bought it for her on VHS, and then later on when DVDs were readily available, we bought it again on DVD, and then I think it's still in her house right now because she has a lot of things. She collects a lot of things.
Oh no!
But I think at one point either we or somebody bought her a tiny little model DeLorean of the time machine. It was like a little Back to the Future special edition.
That's fun
thing. So yeah, she's got a lot of stuff.
Stuff is Stuff is fun.
Yeah, she stopped by my house yesterday to drop off some stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's for Jocelyn. It's plants
okay.
and books and stuff.
Okay.
So I was happy about that. But I was like, "Where are you going?" She's like, "Oh, going down to Mishawaka, do some." I don't know if she was going shopping or I think she had to pick up some stuff. But anyways, Jeff says he remembers. Jeff very active today.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. He says he remembers Channel 1, and also it reminded him of a younger kid's MTV News. Yeah. I liked MTV News as well.
I did.
Because,
I enjoyed that. That
of
was
course,
fun.
a lot of people were watching MTV at the time.
Yeah.
And it was their way of how do we inform that audience, that captive audience, with what's going on around the world? Well, let's bring in a Kurt Loder or any of the other.
Kurt Loder was
the best.
Yeah.
And he was an older guy, even when he first started on MTV. He was an older guy. But yeah, he was great at the MTV News. And then I think there were a couple other people that were on his team as well. But then Matt Pinfield was one of the rock news guys, I think.
Oh. I remember, I just looked it up real quick. I remember Nina Blackwood, Martha Quinn, JJ Jackson.
Okay.
Obviously Kurt Loder.
Yeah.
And Downtown Julie Brown.
I still listen to Downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah. What's she doing?
She's on I think it's the 90s channel on Sirius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's got a satellite gig.
Yeah, she's her and a few of the other MTV VJs have now made it onto some of the channels, which is cool. It makes total sense. These people know music, and I think the 70s, one of the 70s channels or Classic Rewind has that, and then the 80s and 90s channels will have some MTV VJs making it on there. So.
We still watch the MTV channel from time to time when they play music videos.
When is that?
I mean, you can find it almost any time now.
Okay.
I don't know. My YouTube TV just has it on there. I don't know if it's recorded or something like that, but songs from the 80s mostly, but they also have brand new ones too. And there's absolutely no sense, rhyme, or reason to the transitions, the musical transitions.
No.
Yeah. Play something from the 80s and then something from 2012.
Which I don't mind if sonically it makes sense. Because if that doesn't make sense, where it's like a ballad and then it's a super upbeat, and then you go back to a ballad, it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Musical programming. It's easy.
They probably play a lot of New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block have a new album coming out.
Can you believe that?
Which I'm actually excited to listen to. I'm not gonna buy it.
Go out and get the record.
I'll listen to it on Spotify, but I would listen to it. I mean, they were before my time.
Yeah.
They were one of the boy band pioneers, but I was more of a.
I thought the Beatles were the boy band pioneers.
I mean, like boy band, dance boy band.
Yeah. Not talented,
not
except
Beach Boys and Beatles definitely would be the let's all wear the same thing. Jackson 5, stuff like that. But the ones that dance, with their music, I think New Kids were doing it.
Still Kids.
Still Kids is what it's
the name of the album.
Okay.
Yeah. New album, Still Kids. It drops May 17th. So if you are a New Kids on the Block fan, that's when it's coming out. They've got a single from it now.
I have some friends that I have a friend that she is a huge and has been since their heyday Backstreet Boys fan.
Oh.
And at one point she went to where they're doing mashups, like mashup tours.
Yeah.
And I think these are great. They had New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys, and I think even Boys to Men. So it was like NKOTBSB B2B
or not to
B2M. Yeah. So NSYNC is one of those bands that they've been talking about getting back together, but they haven't quite done it. They did it for the Trolls movie.
Oh.
The second or third Trolls movie, but they haven't officially said, all right, we're going to record an album. Justin Timberlake has a new album, but
JT.
Oh, he's got a new album.
Is it out already?
I know there's a song out. I don't know if the full album is out just yet. It may be later this month. I think there's a ton of people releasing albums like middle of this month.
Oh, coming March 15th.
March
Beware the
15th.
Ides of March. Why is he doing
Ooh,
that?
I don't know. March 15th is a big day because that's when Taylor Swift's Eras tour will be on Disney Plus.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, quite a few people releasing albums that
I
day.
really appreciate that Justin Timberlake not only is still releasing albums, but the album he's releasing has 18 cuts on it, 18 songs.
Ooh.
Where some of these new albums that come out, they're basically an EP.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if I'm going to lay down $25 for a piece of vinyl,
yeah,
I want it to have a lot of stuff on it.
Mm-hmm. Hidden tracks.
It's quantity, not quality. No,
exactly.
That's not true. I want quality as well.
All right, let's get back to it.
Hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Partly sunny skies today. At least to start, will become cloudy as the day goes on with high temperatures right around 50 degrees. Cloudy skies tonight, slight chance of a shower. We drop to 38, and then we'll see rain through the day on Friday with high temperatures around 52. As we head into Saturday, maybe a flurry mixed in with some of the rain with highs at 42. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
It's the morning show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
You always giggle right before we get on. I don't know what's going on in that brain of yours.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
What were you giggling about this time?
No, the woolly mammoth. You mentioned there's something about a woolly mammoth, and then I was thinking in my head some of the other things that we're going to talk about. And one of those is the presidential election, woolly mammoth. It all makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I start giggling.
The elephant is the Republican symbol.
That's right.
So it totally transitions well.
Yeah, woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
Or the ages of the two top presidential contenders and woolly mammoth.
Oh, yeah. See, it's all intertwined. There is people think like, oh, how do you come up with these random things to talk about? You just go all over the place. It's all connected. It's all things that people should know about.
There's a thread. I've got a thread in my office that just has 100 pins in it.
Exactly.
And it all leads back to the same place.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm. Strange.
Yeah.
Mine goes to Domino's. Interesting.
I love Domino's.
Why pizza places? I don't know.
Yeah, hungry.
Anyways, we had mentioned the presidential campaigns and debates and all that stuff. And one of the big questions that we've had is about this no labels group. Now, because Fred Upton has told us many times, said, okay, after Super Tuesday, there's going to be a meeting. We're going to try and figure out who those candidates are. We're going to, right now, they have not wavered from this idea.
That's right.
Republican president, Democrat vice president.
That's right.
That's how the ticket was going to be laid out.
Yep.
But who those people are, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We might know this week.
We might know this week. It's more likely it's sounding like we're going to know probably next week. So what's happening is no labels. And by the way, everyone loves a race.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a real race. And as you mentioned, with Joe Biden and Donald Trump as the Democrat and Republican nominee appearance, as it would seem, the No Labels group has said, if it's those two people, we're going to field a third party candidate.
Yeah.
To do that, they've been vetting people on their list of who would be a good Republican presidential candidate, who would be a good vice presidential candidate from the Democrat side. And we're going to have to get on the ballot in all 50 states to have somebody who's viable to actually win, because we don't want to be a spoiler.
Yeah.
We don't want to just split the electorate and have it go to either Joe Biden or Donald Trump. They say they're not pleased with either of those candidates. And in fact, they say they're sticking to their polling numbers, which say 70% of Americans want someone other than those two, but they don't want to settle. So they're having a convention. They're having the regional convention today. The regions are getting together.
Yeah.
Former Congressman Fred Upton is a delegate for our region. And then they're having the national No Labels convention tomorrow.
Okay.
I love how they're doing this because it's by Zoom.
Hey, saving money.
Right?
Being conservative with
Doesn't
the
that
money.
make sense?
Smart, yeah.
So tomorrow, excuse me, Friday, the No Labels centrist nonprofit is going to get together and really make the red light or green light on what they're going to do as far as a third party presidential candidate goes. They're getting a lot of flack because they could be seen as a spoiler. siphon off some of the votes from one of the candidates or the other and make the other one the winner. But they say, no, that's not the case. And that's not what we're here to do. And we're going to get on all the ballots. They're on 16 state ballots so far. They've got another 17 waiting in the wings. And because of the state laws and requirements, it'll take the candidate to get into those other states to make sure they're on the ballot. But they point out that if you remember back to the first George Bush, George H.W., he
Ross Perot
was the spoiler for that one. And he was only on 1 or 2 ballots at this same time in the race. So they're already on 16 and they got 17 more in the wings. They think they're ahead of the game.
Do you think so once they announce who those people are, do you think that there will be an opportunity for that third party person to enter into a debate? Because, you talked about Donald Trump and Joe Biden wanting to, Donald Trump wants to debate. Joe Biden says, no. Do you think they could do a three-person debate? I would love to see that.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people would love to see that. And what it's going to take is to understand the debate commission requirements. And the debate commission requirements say, have you been nominated by your national party? Is your national party polling at least this much of the American electorate? And have you raised some money? Have you raised money from a number of states or a certain amount of money or whatever? Are you really a viable candidate is what they're trying to get to. And in the past, it really has been only the Republican and Democrat Party that have reached that threshold. But I think you could very well see a 3-party, for lack of a better term, debate if No Labels moves forward and they bring a viable candidate and they launch it in the right way.
Viable candidates that are probably floating around. I mean, quite a lot. I mean, that are part of that group. I know you mentioned Joe Manchin is a possible person. He's definitely been staying in the political world lately.
I mean, I think about moderates. I think about centrists. I mean, they're calling themselves kind of the unity party or the unity candidate. So they're sticking to the Republican as the president and the Democrat as the vice president. That seems to limit your options a little bit. But where could they find their candidate? Maybe it's Kasich out of Ohio. Maybe you've got, I don't know, somebody out of the Eastern Seaboard. Seems like there are a number of candidates who could be described as that unity candidate. But how many want to do that and go through what American politics is today? I don't know if you're going to have a big long list.
All right. Well, we'll find out more after those sets of meetings happen. And keep our eye on that for sure. We'll get to
maybe they get Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hey, honestly, if they'd have a big hoop to jump through with the whole not born in America thing in the Constitution.
Challenge. I mean, the Constitution's already been used in some of these things anyway. But gone up to the Supreme Court.
Nothing barring him from being a part of the cabinet.
There you go.
He may end up being in there. So we'll see. The woolly mammoth story real quick.
All right.
A de-extinction company called Colossal Biosciences.
De-extinction company?
De-extinction.
Okay.
They de-extinct things.
Okay.
They're called Colossal Biosciences, and they say that it's found a way to reprogram the cells of the Asian elephants. This would give them the hair and extra layer of fat that woolly mammoths had. They'd also have to find an Arctic environment for them to live in. So basically, they're bringing back the woolly mammoth in some way, with the DNA and stuff. Because I think they've tried to do the very much like Jurassic Park style with dino DNA, and they will use the instead of in Jurassic Park, they use the DNA of
a Tyrannosaurus Rex, right?
In what is alive, what did they use that to splice with?
Oh, I forget. What
frogs.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they ended up breeding,
mixing things up.
Because frogs are able to change the sex of the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they were able to. That's how they were breeding.
I was just watching the Velociraptor.
Life finds a way, as Jeff Goldblum says. But they're using the DNA of the Asian elephants and maybe basically creating a new woolly mammoth.
Is that really a good idea? Do we want
Not really,
that?
because they then have to breed this, find this,
Yeah.
do this, and then find a place for it to live. Yeah.
Especially with global warming, you think about,
Right.
do we really want to
Introducing
introduce
that
the
into
woolly
the
mammoth
environment.
to step on all the penguins at the Arctic Circle or wherever they are?
Right.
Yeah.
Eat the seals or whatever
don't
that
do
happens.
because
Or
they're
the
going to have to
seals
live
eat
off of
them.
something.
Yeah.
Not just eating peanuts.
Right. Science is cool sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're able to make a lot of breakthroughs, but not always good.
Why is Jeff Goldblum always in the DNA altering movies? Because remember, he was in
The Fly? Yeah.
the remake of The Fly, and he was fantastic in that one.
It's
It's very gross if you've watched it.
And then, he's in the Sci-Fi World with Jeff Goldblum.
he's really good.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
Earth Girls Are Easy.
That was a funny one.
And many others. You had a artificial intelligence thing.
Oh, you want to talk about that one now?
Google's AI. Because we talk about all kinds of stuff.
We could do that.
This is in the science realm.
So the headline on this is basically a Chinese national, a person residing in California, has been arrested for the theft of artificial intelligence related trade secrets from Google.
Oh.
A federal grand jury has indicted Linwei Ding, also known as Leon Ding, charging him with 4 counts of theft of trade secrets in connection with an alleged plan to steal from Google proprietary information related to artificial intelligence technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like the coding and the information and how that's programmed.
Yeah, I mean the secret sauce basically from Google wanted to take it back to China. According to the indictment that was returned earlier this month and unsealed, Ding, who is a national of the People's Republic of China and a resident of Newark, California, transferred sensitive Google trade secrets and other confidential information from Google's network to his personal account while secretly affiliating himself with the PRC. He was arrested. Says the Justice Department will not tolerate the theft of artificial intelligence and other advanced technologies and put our national security at risk. So don't know how much damage he's already done by sending America's innovation ideas over to China, but the Justice Department is pretty upset, and they've arrested him and indicted him as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently, he was hired as a software engineer back in 2019. His responsibilities included developing the software deployed in Google's supercomputing data centers. So he had access to all those centers.
Wow. All right.
There you go.
So now Google needs to use artificial intelligence to change the artificial intelligence?
I tell you.
Wow.
I mean, because we used to have spies that stole intelligence. Now we're stealing artificial intelligence.
Well, and knowing how it thinks and what it does to find the information, then they can.
It's a game. It's a game of catch up. And if the People's Republic of China feels like they're behind the game in some technology and we're not giving it to them, they're going to get it somehow.
Yeah,
that's their game.
All right,
that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
it's the new Cold War.
Yeah,
the warm war.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got some other things to get to here in just a moment. We'll have your Moody on the Market update coming up next. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
If you could click your heels together like Dorothy and say there's no place like Rome or Paris or London instead of no place like home.
Right. All right.
Yeah. I mean, China, part of the culture in the business community there is no such thing as protected technology secrets. It's fair game, and you're expected to go after the secrets. Unfortunately, we don't play that way in the United States, and so there's a conflict.
Yeah,
there's a conflict.
Wow, that'll be interesting how that.
Got to play by the rules wherever you're at, whatever field you're playing. Bless you, Gesundheit.
Nope, not a third one. Wow. All right. Okay. Usually sneeze in threes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to see a comment of somebody saying "bless you."
Should I hold off next time?
No, you're good. You're good. All right. So yeah, Moody on the Market update coming up here in just about a minute.
Why don't we have donuts?
I don't know. Why don't we? We don't have a sponsor for coffee. Well, we got the Hanson beverage. We have the Hanson beverage.
We do.
Delicious coffee in the Keurig. But I have to go and make that. I want it to be delivered. But we do need a breakfast sponsor that'll just like drop off donuts or drop off a breakfast sandwich every once in a while. Yeah, we should
like
make
a nice fresh English muffin.
Yeah,
some eggs and
just something simple. Just hey,
cheese.
there you go.
Yeah, That does sound good.
Yeah, let's make that happen.
If you know anybody, let us know.
All right.
Shameless.
Send your
hunger satisfying
advertising inquiries to us
Terry
at
Glazer.
Midwest Family, Terry
Or-
Glazer.
Yeah.
You can call 925-1111 if you have a business that would like to be promoted on this fine award-winning program. We will gladly do that because that's how we pay the bills. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of data,
we should talk
Data Depot.
Oh yeah, you should. Let's see. The Moody on the Market story that we'll be doing is Forever Clean Soap Works.
Okay,
which got me thinking about donuts.
JM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, we got you covered at moodyonthemarket.com. Our team of contributors always on it. We've got stories about business updates, Southwest Michigan, and why we love it here, and interesting people you should know.
That's right.
It's all right there. And your update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
And in this Moody on the Market update, we're talking about, well, the picture says donuts, but the reality, excuse me.
You need to take a second?
No, we're good. I'll power. All right, hang on. Give me a second. Ready?
Yeah, the picture does look like a donut,
There
but
we go.
it is not a donut that
No.
you should eat.
It's soap.
Yeah.
It's soap. And by the way, I think allergies have kicked in because this morning I was really feeling it. But
you need soap. You need to clean it up.
Yeah, soap. Moving to State Street soon in St. Joseph is Forever Clean Soap Works. We have an article posted at Moody on the Market, and it came as a fluke. That's what Lisa Miller said about the opportunity to move her Forever Clean Soap Works storefront from 2603 South Cleveland Avenue in St. Joe to her new location at 416 State Street in downtown. Miller is the owner and operator of Forever Clean Soap Works. They are a purveyor of natural soaps, sugar scrubs, lip balms, lotion products, other things that she started making for herself and her children more than 2 decades ago. She said, I don't like what I'm finding in the mainstream stores. I'm going to make them myself. And she turned it into a business.
Yeah, and these days she's still avoiding the mainstream stores, but she's making a move to one of the main streets of downtown St. Joe. She said, I just happened to be driving by downtown, and it just came to my mind. Oh, wow. I wonder if he'd rent that. The location she was looking at was the former State Street Meats storefront, owned by Ken Kosminski. State Street Meats closed, as you remember, with the Moody on the Market update, at the end of summer 2023 and has been vacant ever since.
Yeah, so Miller has enjoyed success from the days of operating a pop-up storefront in South Bend, Indiana. She moved her operations to Michigan, and she's had great success here. The location she's in currently is great, she says, except it's too big for her. Her products are very small. She currently has a 70-foot showroom, doesn't need that, so she's moving into a more modest, more manageable space. But also the cool thing about this new space that she's moving into, downtown St. Joe, she's going to set it up so that people can watch her make her crafts, the soap products, the lotions, the lip balms, all that other stuff. So you can go in there, see how she does it. They also have Ken. I don't think Ken Kosminski would mind us talking about it. He's a great hunter.
Yeah,
he's a good hunter, and he has an elk head that is on one of the walls in that storefront or in that store.
Sure,
it's going to stay there, she says.
Okay,
and Miller says that's where I'm going to put the men's products.
There you go.
Right underneath the elk head.
Outdoors theme. I love that. Very woody.
Yeah. So mid-April is what she's targeting. She says this is usually her slow season. And she makes soaps and all that other stuff.
Sure.
Did you know it takes 4 weeks for soaps to cure?
No.
Yeah, 4 weeks with what she's making. So she's going to be busy between now and then making a lot of the products that are going to go into the store. Somewhere around mid-April is when she's going to open up.
That's great. And she's been, does great work, great products, and people love the natural side of things and really look at the products that they're buying. And soap is definitely one of them.
Check it out. The full article is right there at moodyonthemarket.com.
Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you. I am.
Yeah, soap is popular. I do the natural soaps. Yeah, all the natural soaps, and usually I've had shampoo bars and things like that.
Shampoo bars,
Mm-hmm.
like a bar of
Yeah, it's like you just treat it much like a bar of soap, but you just lather in your hand, or if you've got something, and then you just do it like shampoo. And it's not only more natural ingredients, but also you don't have all that plastic bottle, because the shampoo, the plastic bottle. This comes in a tin. And you just put it on a little tray or whatever.
It's very eco-friendly.
Yes, it is very eco-friendly. I try to be eco-friendly as much as possible in my home. So yeah, the natural
outside of your
soaps.
home, all bets are off, but inside your home, eco-friendly.
What's outside of my home?
I don't know.
What do I do that's unnatural?
I don't know. You use the qualifier of inside my home.
Mm-hmm. And in a garden and stuff like that, we try to do things natural. We don't spray anything in our
that's a good idea.
Our garden.
That's a good idea.
Nothing sprayed.
The more we find out about the spray stuff, the more problematic it is. I mean, Monsanto has paid how many hundreds of millions of dollars out already, if not billions. But growing up in a farm community, we used to go and do janitorial services at one of the chemical places. They had just big puddles of like neon green stuff laying on the ground. You don't do that anymore.
No.
No weeds grew there. So that was something.
No, nothing else grew there. No other life. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I tell you. We used to have the shop that we would clean, and it was the green stuff or the orange stuff that would turn green when it got wet. It was like an orange powder, and it would cut. It was like a grease cutter. Kind of stuff. Yeah. Probably not good to breathe in when I was a kid, but
no,
I'm fine.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine.
All right, everybody. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for joining.
All right. Bye now.